And I'm going to read this one. This is a request from Tammy, and it's about the people that want to help at McClure. This is the list of food. I'm going to put this over here that they still will ask for their pantry, their food pantry. And then this. No, yeah. No, that's why I say they'll ask for it eventually. Yeah. But this is the thing that is for today. Would you please announce that there is a stack of McClure TPS background check forms on the name tag table? If others have used the room, that probably moved to the bookcase. Those interested in volunteering, I just lost it. Those interested in volunteering need to complete a form. Well, if I could stop touching this. Okay. Complete the form, use a phone to photograph, and mail the photos to the email address written at the top of the form. I will appreciate receiving email notifications when forms have been submitted. I keep a list of volunteer forms and develop an email group. I'm working with McClure staff to organize volunteer opportunities. The Challenger support is very much appreciated. Okay. These are the forms. Right here. And I'm going to put those over here with it too. So if you're interested in volunteering at McClure, you need to do that before you show up to volunteer, because they're going to check you out. And you know that we have some very shady people in this group. I have a letter from from Love Ministries. Thank you so much for your generous contribution to International Love Ministries. It is partners like you that keep our mission of bringing positive changes in the communities through tutoring program and leadership development. Your contributions have had a great impact already. It has helped over 50 refugee children right here in our community, and hundreds of young people have given their lives for God in the overseas ministries. And that's it. Now, I also have the sign-up sheets that I'm going to give you another chance to sign up. This is for the tutoring program and for the teams for next year. And I will start them with you. Okay, this today, you know, we hear about little things that we do from week to week, or the things that we volunteer for. And I think it'd be really exciting for you to hear what your teams have actually done. Originally, I thought we were only going to take a few minutes before a speaker, but we have the whole time today. So please make sure you get everything you want to say in there, because you guys have done a tremendous job this year, all the things that you've done and all of the things you volunteered for. And because everybody is equally important, we're going to start alphabetically. And we're going to do the connection team first. I'm going to start with Becky.
All right. Well, in this class, I've made 124 name tags, which is pretty incredible. We usually have about 60 people here, and so that has been, I think, a worthwhile project. In analyzing this project, though, I was trying to think, was it worth it? I mean, it's expensive. It costs $3 a name tag. It takes a lot of my time and a lot of days' time. And here's the 3 reasons I think it is. First, we did it initially because we wanted to welcome new members to our class and visitors, and I think that's been successful. When people join this class, they almost always come up to me and they say, when do I get my name tag? Because that gives them an identity. It takes off their invisibility cloak. It makes them part of a group. And for a lot of us who've been here a long time, you don't realize how important that is for these people. And if I don't get it to them, they say, when do I get my badge? And in that way, you know, we're welcoming, we're including people. I think that part of the project has been very good. The second part is what it's done for us as a group. Even though it seems like everybody knows everybody in here, really we don't. You know the people that you talk to, but you don't know everybody. And I think as a group it's benefited our class just as much as it has the new members, but because it makes us more of a community and more of a group. And I like it when somebody says my name. Everybody likes it when somebody says their name, and you can't do that unless you know somebody's wearing their name tag. So I think that's beneficial. But the third thing that I just noticed was when we have speakers and they come in here and they don't know anybody, and you watch them walk in and they're a little bit nervous, or anybody that does public speaking knows who wants to come in and talk to a bunch of strangers on Sunday morning at 9:45. Not very many people. So they'll come in, they'll look around, maybe nobody's talking to them, and then they see people with a name tag on. And I think I can see them relax. And they're like, this is a friendly group, this is a warm group, this is a group that I can relax and have a good time with this morning and share whatever I have to say. I think that benefits all of us. And of course it benefits them. It makes us have a better speaker. But they go away from our group thinking, these people are friendly, they're warm. I'll tell other people about them. And I think that's a wonderful thing that we do. In my job, I have to say that Dave has done probably a lot of the work. Dave, my husband of 55 years, is probably the most reserved, patient, kind, and friendly person. He's a perfect person to stand out here and hand out name tags. The hardest part of that job is afterwards, though, because he never makes it to church. It's kind of like a prayer and a song church, because it takes about 20 minutes to put all these name tags away, especially now that he's decided we're going to put them in those buckets. We're hoping that this will be a quicker job for him. And he's said that many times, if they're, to me. So I think that's an important thing. The logistics of these name tags are a little bit hard, because it's hard for everybody to come in here at the same time and get a name tag. Some people don't want to wear them for whatever reason. This is Sunday school. It's not, I'm not the name tag Nazi. So if you wear them, if you don't wear them, it's not my, deal. Some weeks, 10% of the people wear them. Sometimes 50% of the people wear them, and it just depends. The other person I think is important in the name tag project is Kay, because she's made this a priority this year. She reminds people to wear them. It's important, and I appreciate her part in it, because it is a little bit labor intensive. So in analyzing it and decided if I really wanted to do this longer, I decided this is a worthy project, and it's worth it, and it's worth my time to do this. So that's what I was going to tell you. So if you need a name tag, and if you lost your name tag, your dog ate it, your grandkids stole it, whatever happened to your name tag, it doesn't matter. I was a librarian. I've heard every excuse for that. So just tell me. I have a list of everybody's name on here, and all you have to do is tell me, and I'll make you another name tag next week. We have 2 new members today. Somebody's already told me their name, so now we'll have 126 name tags. If you do not come for a year, your name's off the list. So I'll tell you right now. So, yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, he'll stay. He will always get the name tag. Last week, he took a name tag out of somebody's Bible that was in there, and and they said, "No, I want to keep it every week. I keep it in my Bible, and I bring it back every Sunday." He's like, "Okay, but be sure that you bring that name tag back in here next Sunday, because." So we're a little light on name tags right now. So I know a lot of people probably have them at home or wherever you have them, but. I'm glad to make you another one, and I'm glad to do this job for you.
What Becky didn't mention is when she started this project, she had to pretty much filter through the directory that we had, the list of members. But Dave was having a real problem with his back at that time. And it was a real sacrifice for them to spend the time getting that all done. So we really appreciate that. Meredith, the rest of our connections team.
I was out with the coffee group, so that's my excuse. But I think they are a wonderful idea and appreciate your work with name tags. Yes, I'm part of the Connection Committee group. And I think when I looked up the word connection, I found these words: affiliation, alliance, association, partnership, and most of all, relationship. And I think that's what we want to provide here with guests and people who visit our class. We want to offer them a relationship with our group here. And I think we do a good job, but we're always working to make it even better. I know Kay has been wonderful. When we don't spot someone, she does, or we work together, but we want to make sure we identify visitors and make them feel welcome. We have a couple of things that we do. We have these nice yellow cards. We ask a visitor to fill out and give us back, and it has their address and their telephone number and email. And then that week, we follow up with a card, a handwritten card, and it's from the Harvard Avenue Christian Church Challengers class. And we say we are glad you visited with us. We hope you come again. So it's another follow-up to the Sunday morning attendance. And we also have a nice brochure that's being updated. And thank you, Betsy, for updating this with our new team leader, Keenan's name. And then the new time will be on there. This one actually has the new time, 9:45. But, and then we have, the team leaders and photographs of the group, different activities. So that's a nice thing to hand a visitor to let them get acquainted with the class. On the team with me was Jane McKinney and Tom Wirtz, and they've been very good committee members as well. One thing I thought about was a verse in the Bible, Romans 12:15, that says, "We rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn." And I think we've seen that in the last few weeks. And that's what makes this class so special, is the relationships that we have with each other. And we want to offer that to new members as they come to our class. So thank you.
And as soon as we get these updated, they're going to be over in the bookcase. It wouldn't hurt to have one in your purse or your pocket so that when we have new people join, we can hand that to them and make sure they know what we are. We've got a great product. We just have to market it. So, okay, education team is next.
Good morning, gang. Okay. I'm Bill Richard, and Buzz and I were co-hand grenade catchers for the committee this year. So, our committee is charged with the task of obtaining speakers every week and/or developing lessons for the class. And our committee members were great this year. I was going to let you know who they are. Buzz and Linda were on it, and Connie McFarland. Connie, you here? Back there. Janet and Ray are here. There we go. Jim Boswell, and Mike and Leslie Moore, and then Betsy. And Kay was an ex officio member on there. So we appreciate everybody's work. We tried to have a variety of topics this year. Try to get balanced study of religious topics as well as other community topics. And we had speakers from the community, speakers from the seminary. So we hope that was something that would challenge your thinking about the different topics that were presented. A few of those were, we did have lessons on morality. I think our attendance was a little light on that week. And the treatment of, or the heritage and history of Indians, and maybe our treatment of them throughout history, dealing with grief, health issues facing us, and how to lead a healthier life, conflict resolution. And we did have a Jewish rabbi come talk to us about Jewish history and their issues, and Christian ethics, power of prayer, and that's just to name a few of the topics. Normally we've had as many as 85 people in class. Our usual attendance somewhere around 55 to 65, but we have had a great class this year. Some of our speakers have included Brandon Scott, who spoke in the spring on ethics, and in the fall on Mary Magdalene. Rabbi Weinstein spoke on Jewish history. John Erling spoke on the Voices of Oklahoma, including Oral Roberts and maybe Muzan Biggs and a couple other people as well. And then Deborah Gist spoke on the challenges facing TPS. Our executive pastor, Kevin, spoke on the vision and mission for our church. And we had a variety of other topics as well. But and if you guys have any suggestions, thoughts, if you've heard a speaker or have a topic you'd like for us to discuss in here, please get in touch with the committee. And our chairman for this coming year is Connie McFarland. Connie, stand up so everybody can see you. Good for you. So anyway, that's Buzz. Did you have anything else you want to get to the group? I think that's it. That's it. If you have ideas, though, we want to hear them so we can follow up with them.
Thank you. Didn't they do a great job this year? Yeah. One of the things that came up in several of the meetings is everybody in here knows at least one person that would be a good speaker. All you have to do is think about it and let them know, because it really is. It's much easier if we have everybody's ideas coming in at the same, for a meeting. We're going to do social committee. Sharon?
Morning. I'll tell you what, this last year has been so much fun for me to get to know you. And that's what the social committee is about. Doing things together, being part of our group in a whole different setting. We had 13 members on our group. We met 8 times. I won't say the whole time we were together we were discussing what we were going to do for socials, but but anyway, it was a great time. We started out on Monday, May the 9th. We had a ladies' lunch at the bistro, which was so much fun. And from that, we got some new members to our class. They came to that and enjoyed being with us so much that they went on and came and joined. Monday, June the 27th, weather fabulous for June the 27th, 2022, okay. There was a golf scramble at Bailey Golf Course in Owasso. 28 people were involved in that. It was $50 for the greens fee and then $8 for a box lunch. They had a ball. And ironically, there were two people that were spearheading that whole event. One of them was the winner of the entire event. So you might want to check into that. On Monday, July 4th, we were at the Briggs home on the hill above Southern Hills, watching the fireworks displays on various places around the city. That one, we charged $17 for the chicken and drinks, etc., and everyone brought to that. We had 85 people that evening and that day. On Monday, we talked about doing the something in August or September, and we decided it was so hot, there were so many things going on, so we skipped over to October the 13th, which was a Thursday night. We were at the Soder's home for a fall party. We charged $12 for the food and drink, and just everything was open. One of the things that was done that evening was we played a lot of the yard-type games. And so you won't think everything we did was just frivolous and that kind of stuff. I want you to know that there were some very educational conversations going on that evening. One of them was, and I'm sure you'll want to check into this, one of them was, what is cornhole and where did it come from? And we had some very interesting explanations from people who were making it up, obviously. And it was so much fun to sit there. Who would have thought we'd spend all this time talking about this game where you take this and just so that you aren't going home and Googling immediately. One of the theories is it started in Germany in 1352. Okay? So, and then we had all kinds of other things. Those are the kind of things that make the social so much fun. I'm adding this into our group because this is another way that Challengers affects this church. We were having a meeting, social meeting, and we were asked if we would put the decorations on the center of the tables. Janet's already laughing. And we said, well, sure, we can do that. So Sunday after church, on the day of the dinner, we discovered the tables were up. There were no chairs. There were no tablecloths. There were no anything. So you guys got the word. We need help. And you should have seen people scrambling after church to get that room set for the entire church congregation to be able to come and have. We even ended up being responsible for the drinks that night, and all we had was coffee and water, and we ran everywhere getting that done. That's what you guys do, and that is what makes us the social group that we are. We then went on Thursday, December the 8th, down to the Summit Club for a wonderful evening of fellowship, good food, few drinks, and we all looked so fabulous. So if anybody has pictures, you might want to be sure that you share them. Then on Sunday, December the 18th, we had our Christmas brunch. We had people that volunteered to make breakfast casseroles, bring fruit trays, bring bread trays to feed our class. And it was a wonderful morning. It was a time to just sit and reflect and, okay, we're going into Christmas week, and this really makes it a special time to do. So basically, we had what we felt like a very good year because you all backed us up on what we were planning, what we were going to do, And that's what we need. Now, because we didn't get to do a couple of things last year that we did, that we want to do, we're using the 22 group, and we are organizing another ladies' lunch for Thursday, March 2nd. So ladies, put that on your calendar, and you'll get more information about that. Then from all of you, I was told I had 8 minutes. Have I used them up yet? Okay. She knows don't put a microphone in my face because we want to do a survey. And probably in a month or so, we will put into your hands suggestions that you might have. Okay, we did the such and such this last year, but you didn't feel like blah, blah, blah. Let us know what you really, really thought. And we can go from there. This group is a huge group, and so the days of getting together in somebody's home, we're getting into small groups and doing all of that. But we need a time for us as the challengers to be together. And we had 85 people, we had 67 people, we had 65 people, so you see how much we actually impacted all of our lives. Thank you for the opportunity that we as a committee had to plan things for you, and thank you for supporting us in the way you did.
How about the people from the social committee standing up so you get to see who they are? Isn't that wonderful? You wouldn't believe that I had to twist her arm to take this job. But since she's one of my very best friends in the whole world, she relented finally. Sunshine Committee. This is one of those committees that you don't hear very much about, but they're kind of the backbone of the class.
Okay, thank you. I'm guilty. I do not have my name tag on. I'm Pat Maxwell, if you don't know. But yes, the Sunshine Committee, I have been doing this for several years. I think this might be my last, but it is a very, very important committee for this classroom and really for the whole church, because we have provided services besides just our members in our classroom to other members of our PAC family. So this is how important we are. The description of Sunshine Committee, number one, we contact any Challenger member that we have heard, or they can contact me. Sometimes that has to happen if we have not heard anything about who are dealing with either a serious illness or surgery, and who might need a meal or more meals brought into them at this time, especially if there's nobody else in the family who can help with the meals or close family members here in Tulsa. And so we are their family, and this is what we do. And we've taken as if one meal to someone up to 6 meals that we've had to do a couple a week for 3 weeks. And I have taken my numbers from the last 18 months. That's kind of when we got all back together and started getting active again from COVID. And so that's the numbers I've got here for you. And so in the last 18 months, we've had a total of 18 meals delivered to homes with 28 Challengers members preparing these meals and delivering them. And these are for people who have had illnesses or surgeries. So that's, I think, a fantastic number of people taking their time, their money to do this, and it is so helpful. And many, many times we get remarks about how helpful this and thankful they are for this. And then our next thing that we do, of course, is our services, help with the services when one of our family members have passed away. And it's like we just had just this week. And this is where we prepare meals, cookies, sandwiches, whatever is needed. But we usually will prepare a meal for the family the evening before the service and take into their home for the families that are staying at their home or coming in from out of town, which this is so much appreciated and so much needed to take some of the pressure off of these families and to help them be able to just sit and enjoy their families during this time of grief. We have also stepped in and done this several times for just HAC members who are not members of our Challengers class. So we have been called on for that also. But in the last 18 months, we have had 5 Challenger members that we have provided food for and our love to. The Sunshine Committee has served 7 lunches or dinners, and the lunches are, like I said, usually before the service, and they will be served in the home, or they have even been served in this classroom that we'll set up for them to come here. All the family members can sit, talk, and relax before getting ready for the service in the church. We had the number of people serving these. We had a total of 52 class members who helped prepare, deliver, and serve these meals. That is a lot of class members who've stepped up to help with this wonderful mission we have. The number also does not tell you the amount of time that the generosity in money and their time, their precious time to do these meals and to deliver these meals or stay and serve the meals. So these are numbers I don't have, so you can imagine what that will add up to. But I cannot tell you how much members appreciate this service. Are there family members, people who have come in from out of town, or family members who do not come to this church? They have come up and said what a wonderful, friendly, loving, sincere group we have here. And this makes them feel at home and makes them feel so much better and at ease when they have to be here for the reason they're coming. And I also, I want to give my appreciation to every single lady in here who, when I call and say, yes, I will help with this. More times than not, I will say, I need this, and they said, is there anything else I can do? This is the type of people we have here. And I want to really thank you. You've made my job easier with the attitude and the loving this class gives. So I want to thank you for that.
I wanted to make sure we found out about that because Pat is the kind of person that has this thing running so smoothly that we don't even know what's going on, and it's such an important part of our class. We're going to do volunteer. This is... Oh. We have to mention her long-suffering husband. Okay, Deborah is going to do our volunteer report. You're going to be blown away.
I hope so. Is this okay? I'm not used to doing this. First of all, one of the things that I really appreciate about the Challengers class is how willing people are to do things in the community and support different things. And one of the things I think that was very successful, and Becky helped us, Becky Gray got us involved in that, were the baskets for the daycare center that provided housing materials for people going into housing. And I just saw in the digital Tulsa World today, there's a quote in there from the lady that runs the daycare center, and she talked about the need for the baskets. Kay and I are going to meet when she gets back and kind of tweak maybe that a little bit, and when we have our meeting to talk about how we can continue to support that, because I think that was very worthwhile. The other thing, of course, is John 3:16 mission, which Judy passes around that sign-up sheet, and that's done once a month from the Challengers class. This year, I think we're on a Saturday night. And if you've not done that, that is such a worthwhile opportunity, because the ladies and gentlemen that come through there are so appreciative of the meal. Thank you. And it just really, it's a service that you're doing for people, but you really get rewarded so much back. I am signed up in March and look forward to going there and representing the Challengers class with other churches to help feed the homeless. Obviously, we have a lot of people involved with Iron Gate in serving meals, as well as getting involved in cooking for the cause. I think they do that in October, I believe, and that's a fundraiser that we have a very good presence there. Challengers also working at the food bank that do the backpacks for the children so that they will have food for the weekend, which is very important. I'd like to do a little shout out to Tammy and Janet for bringing McClure to the forefront in all of the things that school needs that we as challengers can participate in. Food, shoes. I know I went to Target the other day and I found kids' shoes for $10, and it was just, I was so excited that I could buy shoes for these children. Sometimes I don't think about that. We know they need food. Oh my gosh, they need shoes. And so there are certain things that I know that Tammy and Janet are going to continue working with that. I particularly like the idea of kind of sponsoring a teacher. And when the principal came last week and talked about all of the challenges, and being a former teacher myself, I know that those challenges are great. And to have a note of appreciation is very significant, and I love the fact that we are having that as an ongoing project. And then we did the blankets for the daycare center also. I think they've done that several years, and bringing blankets and donating those blankets. And another thing I know that the challengers have been involved with is supporting Family Promise. I know I've done that with Treva and Marianne, and we've supplied food and taken it to the families who are in need. And the other thing is where we as individuals volunteer outside of the community. And we have, the tentacles reach very far in all of the things that we do. And I know that that's very important to us as individuals in the community. And if any of you have any ideas, you can certainly present it to me or Kay, and we can submit it to our committee when we have our meeting, because, yes. We have not done anything for Habitat for Humanity, but that's certainly, I know that there are people that still do that. I don't know if that's not been brought to my attention. I did that one time, and I think I nailed into something. I was like, okay. And then I swept. I remember I swept. I swept. So nailing. So that's another thing that, and there are times when, if you do any, this is just a side idea that I've had, that I've done, is if you have any construction in your house and you're replacing things that are still decent, the Habitat for Humanity will take stovetops and things like that. So, yes, but we will be meeting at some point. Kay's out of town. When she gets back, we'll put our heads together and then call for a committee meeting. And I know that the daycare center is also one of the things that I know we want to continue in McClure for sure. So, anyway, we're open to other suggestions. So, thank you.
One of the things you all did that I don't know that it was an organized thing for the volunteers, but we brought in men's clothing. And Janet can tell you how many trips she made. She drives a big old SUV that's huge to start with. She had that whole back filled with clothes. I have no idea how many trips you must have taken to get it all in, but that whole thing was filled. And one of the things that, when I was talking to Kay about this, she mentioned that the baskets, for anybody that doesn't know what the basket was, we had laundry baskets and a list of things for the people that were going from homeless to apartments that had now, been moved into an apartment. And emphasized to us how expensive it is to just set up the very minimum things that we had. And it was a list, and it came to about $150 by the time you got through. So people divided up, 2 or 3 people would take a basket and fill it. Becky was hoping we would fill 7 baskets. We filled 15. And that's the kind of attitude challengers have. We go over and above. I was hoping that Leslie was going to be here today. I was going to have a financial report, but I'll make sure she does it next week, or Keenan will make sure she does it next week. One of the things I want to emphasize is that everybody is so willing to help in this class. And I will admit that Kathy had to talk me into taking the job. I want you to know I want you to know that I took over an organized, almost a company, everything that worked so well. They had set up this idea of teams. And my theory with a team is you get the best people you can to lead the team, and then you let them go. I tried not to be mini organizer or worrying about what people were doing. But everybody did such a good job. Every once in a while, I'd get a call about, can we do this or can we afford to do that? How do I do this? Who do I ask for permission? But it's just amazing how well Kathy had this set up. And Hank, of course, got everything going with the recording the Sunday school lessons. But there are people that you just don't know about how much work they do here, and they're not in charge of a committee or a team or anything else. And it's Betsy Richard. She and Bill are here early every Sunday morning getting things set up. When Lisa didn't show up for a lesson one day, man, Betsy figured out a way to have a lesson for us that day. So it was really very much appreciated and probably something that a lot of us take for granted. The other thing that I think everybody looks forward to on Saturday is the Challenger Chat. Betsy and Kathy are the Challenger Chat. And that's another thing that it's their Saturday morning. We just take it for granted. But it's really an important part of what we are. And if you want to get an announcement in or have something done, it's the Challenger Chat that's going to do it. And I'm sure, I'll tell you one thing. How many people, put your hands up, how many people have prayed for me during the Sunday school? During the classroom, how many people? I've asked tons and tons of people. You guys have? Yes, did the actual prayer. Yeah. Sometimes we get people up here that you don't see their faces any other time up here, but they come up and pray for us, and I think that's an important part. And rather than asking you as you walk in the door to pray, I think it's nice to have a little bit of notice ahead of time. But it has been, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody, and I apologize, but it has been a wonderful year. I think it's just some of the lessons we've had. I actually feel sorry for people that have missed that week. Like last week, I would have loved to have had Sharon here for last week. The people from McClure were wonderful. It's amazing what they've taught. Betsy? Oh, good. Okay, you get to see it. Did you hear what she said? It was recorded, and it will be in next week, so you can see it. Because we've had some just really inspiring, wonderful people, thanks to our education team, but they're wonderful. So, and as I say, I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody, but it's just been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I don't want to get emotional. That's why I don't pray, is because I cry. So, seriously, it's not pretty. But I thank you. And Keenan, I'm going to turn over the microphone to you. And I would give you a gavel, but we don't have one. So. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, I have one more thing that I was going to mention. At Inverness, this is one of the other things. If I had known what my year was going to be like this year, I never would have taken this job. We moved to Inverness. We decided in June to move to Inverness, and at our age, moving is a big deal. And with everything going on, I probably would have said no. So it's just as well I didn't know then what I know now. But the chairman of the council out there said that they thought that Inverness ought to be doing more things for volunteering and doing good in the community, because there's nothing really, they have all kind, I mean, you can learn to two-step, you can learn to play bridge, but they really don't have a volunteer situation. And I would like to offer them McClure and Love International Ministries, because I know there's a lot of retired teachers and things out there. I live next door to a retired professor. So I thought it would be a good way to extend it, and I'll make sure anybody that volunteers gets the background check and that. But I think it's a good way for us to extend our reach to other people. So thank you very much, and next week you'll see Keenan.
Well, gee whiz, I only have, 20 minutes to fill? I got like 30 seconds, so 5 minutes? Okay, well, that's 4 minutes of tap dancing, but I will say, Kay, you're going to be a very hard act to follow. And the good news is I've done this before, but we were a lot smaller class at the time, and I'm going to rely on what I relied on last time, and that's all these wonderful people that are in Challengers that do such a great job. And I think we're going to continue to do a great job. We're mainly got the same leadership going forward, except for Connie. Connie McFarland is the education team leader. And then social team will be co-chairs Sharon again with Tammy Laster back here. Sunshine is going to be Pat Maxwell again. She said 1 more year. Then the next guy is going to have to find somebody. And then Meredith is going to be the connection with Becky, I'm sure. And then the volunteer team will be Kay Knopfsinger and Deborah again. So a great team. We've got great people in here. I do want to follow up on the connection team. Paul and Lynn Kent are visiting today. You've been here before, though, hadn't you? Did you get a card or a letter or anything? Okay. All right. Well, good job. Well, good to have you here today. So anyway, I don't have much else. Next week, we start afresh. So thanks, and God bless everyone.